What I like to tell people, though, one of the best things about our organization, other than the discounts, other than the apprenticeship program, which is awesome too, is the community. The community we give to our shop owners, the managers, technicians, service advisors. It is really unparalleled.
My thing is very simple. I want you to come to this show, and I promise you will have a good time at any of our events you go to, any of the parties, the cigar rollings, the barbecue. I promise you're going to have a good time with that.
I would say this will be my 4th or 5th ASTA Expo, and I have seen the lives it has changed. Like my first year of the expo, I didn't really grasp. I don't think, I had just gotten hired a few months before my first expo. So I didn't really grasp at that time yet the kind of impact that this show could have on people's businesses and lives in general.
You're listening to the Limitless Leadership Podcast, the podcast designed to help automotive repair shops learn how to lead, coach, train, and manage their team better by sharing proven techniques and thought-provoking interviews from industry leaders. Are you ready to transform your leadership skills by tapping into unrecognized potential to achieve limitless results? Let's get ready for liftoff. It's time to go from great to greater. Here's today's episode.
Hey folks, running an auto repair shop, it's tough. We know that. And between managing repairs, keeping customers happy, and handling front office tasks, there's never enough time in the day. That's where Hub Shop Solutions comes in. Hub takes the burden off your team by building fast, accurate repair estimates and handling extended warranties, so you can focus on what really matters, running a profitable, efficient shop. With Hub, you free up your team, you boost efficiency, and you increase profits. So sign up now and get free onboarding. Visit hubshopsolutions.com to schedule a demo today. Hub Shop Solutions. Unlock your shop's full potential. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Limitless Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Parnell. And before we get started, as you know, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things you need to on social media to help this podcast reach people and build leaders. That, of course, is our mission statement, to reach people and build leaders. And once again, I'm joined by some incredible leaders in the automotive repair industry. I'm joined by the web and event manager for the ASTA, as well as the executive director and custodial engineer for the ASTA. I'm joined by Jessee Potter and Ryan Ragan. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Josh.
Well, folks, before we get started, I want to share with the audience what the ASTA is, or at least I'd like for them to know what the ASTA is, but I'm going to allow you to share what is the ASTA, what is the ASTA Expo coming up at the end of this month, and what can we expect from it? So let's start by just asking, what does ASTA stand for? What's the acronym for ASTA?
I'll take some of this and I'll defer to Jessee on some of this. So the ASTA is the Automotive Service and Tire Alliance. It was kind of formed a few years back, well, now almost several years back. The independent garage owners and the North Carolina Tires and Dealers Association, they merged, and the ASTA was born. So what we do is, we're an association, a membership association. We represent individual shop owners. We're not into the private equity space, representing the big private equity players. We represent independent shop owners. You may have 15, you may have one bay, you may have 20 bays. We do the tire shops and the automotive shops. There's some collision mixed in there. Some of our members do all three. But that's who we represent. And we do that in a variety of ways, from education, training, advocacy on, different governmental issues throughout the state of North Carolina and nationally. So that's kind of who we are in a very small nutshell. What we are is volumes more than that. I mean, that's kind of a neat thing to slap on a website, that this is who you are. What we are. I'll defer to Jessee. I've been here about a year, and Jessee has been here for a while and is my right hand and kind of the heart and soul of this thing that makes everything tick. So, Jess, tell them what ASTA is.
We, like he said, we do provide value for our members in a variety of different ways. We like to do that through our partnerships with our vendors. So we offer several different rebates and exclusive discounts just for our members from these vendors, like Advanced Auto Parts, Napa as well, and 360 Payments, UniFirst, all kinds of different marketing companies, credit card processing companies. What I like to tell people, though, one of the best things about our organization, other than the discounts, other than the apprenticeship program, which is awesome too, is the community. The community we give to our shop owners, the managers, technicians, service advisors. It is really unparalleled. We put on monthly events for our members. Majority of them are free. And to see people come together with other people who get it, they can talk about the good and the bad, everything that goes on in their day in the industry that not other people would understand. That is where the real magic happens in our organization, is the community.
All right, folks, as you know, great leadership isn't about doing everything the best. It's actually about having the right partners in your corner to build your shop's success. It's about putting the right team in place. It's about choosing the right vendors to make you a pro, making pro moves. And when I think about the pros, I think about shop marketing pros. The know, like, and trust factor, that's a real thing. And Shop Marketing Pros understands that. That's why I want to recommend Shop Marketing Pros to become your marketing partner in your shop. They get to know, like, and trust you and your business to then help your audience get to know, like, and trust you too, and bring your shop to the next level. So when I talk about making pro moves, this is the kind of move I'm talking about. This is the kind of standard-setting partnership that's going to elevate your shop. So if you're ready to become a pro in your shop, visit shopmarketingpros.com and partner with the best. Well, and I'll share. I want to just echo what you just shared, Jessee. I'm still fairly new to the industry outside of the Christian Brothers automotive bubble that I was in for almost a decade. And after I got out of Christian Brothers, I learned just how big the industry was and is. And one of the first organizations that I became affiliated with was the ASTA. And in fact, the first non-Christian Brothers conference that I went to was at last year's ASTA Expo in September. I knew two people there. I did a presentation for maybe 10 people in a classroom, and had the opportunity to jump on a podcast with Lucas and David. And fast forward a year later, and both of you have me coming in to do Friday morning's keynote and then a 4-hour training session. And you're giving me the opportunity to be on Podcast Row this year. And none of that would have been possible had it not been for the relationships formed over the last year. And so first I want to say thank you, not just from me, but for the industry as a whole. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for bringing people together, for reaching people and changing lives and reaching more leaders as well. I had the opportunity to be at the Fueling Connections event with both of you in April of this year. And again, the family type feel, the community type feel, I cannot think of another organization who does this as well as you guys do. And Ryan described Jessee as kind of the heart and soul and his right hand. And I'll say, Jessee, I want to commend you because I understand to some degree, I understand the amount of time, effort, and energy and heart and soul that goes into creating an expo like the one that you are responsible for. And you do a fantastic job. And I know that this year is only going to be even better. So I'm excited to learn more about, what it is, what to expect. If you would share with the audience, it's going to be at the Raleigh Convention Center this year, September 25th through 27th. What can I expect this year that I haven't seen in years past?
Well, a couple things. So, look, it's and there were reservations from us in certain areas. I mean, look, it's going to be at the Raleigh Convention Center. If anybody's never been there, it is a much fancier, a much larger, a much nicer facility to host an event like this. That being said, Jess and I, when we first started going to visit and started going through how we're going to map this out, the biggest thing to us was real simple. Yeah, this is all great and it's nice and it's a gorgeous facility. We cannot lose that Southern hospitality that we bring to the table. Mm. So we have to make sure that this doesn't change anything in regards to how we normally run our day-to-day association, how we normally interact with people, how our volunteers are trained, and what we expect people when they walk in that door. And what we expect is when you walk in that door, you're not a number, you're not a person. It's not get this, go over here, move here, get that. It's hello, how you doing? It's great to have you back. It's your first time here. Let me introduce you to somebody. We really want to make sure people still have that connection because I'm not going to lie, I've been to a lot of trade shows and And a lot of people have. And, if you've only been to very small ones or this is your first one, you walk in, the lobby is a big space and you're kind of like, wow, this is a little different than what I was used to. I'm at the Sheraton or something. So we put a lot of heart into that and making that lobby. I will tell you, the lobby is going to blow your mind when you walk in. It's going to be something that will blow your mind. I think it's really going to, just kind of set the tone for kind of the entire event. That can be a big thing for us, but really just making sure that we're still down home. We're still doing what we want to do. I think the other thing for us is we've added more classes. That space allowed us to get more classes, more specialized training that we didn't have the room to do in the past. We've amped up some of our events. There's some trials and tribulations as we went through some of this planning phase because it's in a new area. I mean, you're right in the heart of downtown Raleigh. Before you were out, at an airport kind of hotel to where once you were there, if you wanted to go anywhere, you had to take an Uber or something. This, you can walk all around downtown when the show's not going on at night or something. But I wouldn't recommend that until way after our events are over because we have some crazy events this year.
Well, let's talk about the events. Jessee, I'll pass it to you if you want to share. What are some things I can expect? What are some new events that I can expect this year?
So in the past, when everybody was at the owner dinner, we would put on a pizza party. This year, we have elevated that to a barbecue and brews. That will be held at the Marriott right next door to the convention center. There'll be beer, a speaker, and Carolina's finest food, barbecue, different options like that to represent the South. So we've really tried to make that event just a much nicer, less rushed experience for everybody who is not an owner or manager. We also have the big pre-party coming this year. So in the past, we've done that at the go-karting facility right down the road. This year, we are doing it at the convention center. So we have all kinds of crazy fun stuff like a mechanical bull, knocker ball. If you don't know what that is, you should definitely look that up. We'll have a giant 15-foot dart kick board. So you kick the soccer ball onto the dart board. We'll have pool tables, air hockey, of course, the bar, and awesome hors d'oeuvres being passed around. So it's really going to be a great time. Definitely recommend that everybody make it out to that event. It's no buses at all this year, no charter buses. So everything is on site, which will be appealing to a lot of people. Something else we're doing different this year is instead of the bourbon tasting that people may be used to, we are doing a cigar rolling event, and that will be held at Redbird right next to the convention center as well, inside the Residence Inn Hotel. We have a family-owned company flying in from Miami. They manufacture, harvest their own tobacco leaves, all of that. So they're going to bring the history and the fun. There'll be drinks and hors d'oeuvres at that event as well. We also still have our women's dinner. That's going on Thursday evening at Rye, Southern Bar and Whiskey Kitchen at the Marriott. That is an additional cost, but you can purchase tickets for that on the ASTA Expo website. We also have the owner trade show and dinner, which is something brand new we're doing this year as well. That will be Friday, September 26th from 5 to 8 p.m. There will be a bar in there as well and an awesome dinner for our owners, vendors, and managers. And right after that, people will head over to casino night. So we still have our casino night. This year it's sponsored by Napa. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. The prizes are going to be awesome. So I highly recommend everybody make it to that as well. We still have our Friday lunch, which is one of our biggest lunch events, and our Saturday banquet as well, where all the door prize winners, silent auction winners will be announced. And then we'll have our keynote speakers there as well. One more thing we're doing this different this year as well is the Friday breakfast. So this year we will be hosting everybody at the convention center with a keynote speaker. Josh, we're so happy to have you.
Guy. He's a crazy guy that's speaking at breakfast.
Can be.
Yeah, so we're doing that for the first time this year, just to kind of get everybody excited and pumped up for the 2 days of training and events that we have. So awesome. I believe that covered it.
What's unique, I mean, and we, this theme, we have this theme, kind of out of this world training, and, we've done a lot of work to keep that to point, and some of the graphics and things you're going to see are going to blow your mind. One of the things too, on that kickoff party, that'll probably be the star of the show is, like every hour, kind of 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, we're going to have a kind of our main event matches in the middle of the lounge area at the kickoff party. We have a sumo rink. Fortunately for you, you're one of the contestants. I'm going to see if I can get you in the rankings worldwide as a sumo.
Okay, I like it.
But we haven't determined your opponent yet. It's probably going to be somebody from the parts unknown, something really evil. I don't know, face paint, whole thing. But definitely, you'll see, Mike and Lucas in action, and some other folks. We've got some buy-in. I can assure you, one of the matches will definitely be fun to watch. A David and Goliath matchup that'll be kind of happening out there, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And when this all happened, we had an event originally off-site, and they had some unforeseen issues, and we had to pull out of that space. And at first we were kind of like, but then it kind of gave Jessee and I, wow, we can finally do something that we wanted to try. Let's do this all in one place and just see what we can build and create and make this crazy world party. I mean, we've got the people that you're going to see when you walk in that are just costumes and different things throughout this party are really going to blow your mind. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I can assure you there's going to be millions of photo opportunities all throughout this expo. But make sure you tag us in them, have a lot of fun. My thing is very simple. I want you to come to this show, and I promise you will have a good time at any of our events you go to, any of the parties, the cigar rollings, the barbecue. I promise you're going to have a good time with that. And you're right downtown. There's other stuff you can go do afterwards if you want. My biggest thing, though, is two things. I want you to have all the fun you have, but I also want you to walk out of this event saying, this was the best training I've had all year. And so we were very careful, in how we looked at the training classes, who we picked and what we did, and kind of how we organized them. We did incorporate a lot more of the tire side of the industry, and that's by design. We wanted to get more of their side into the business, into the expo to really, bring them back up and kind of focus on a lot of their training. But we're going to have some stuff on the floor. I won't leak all that out right now. Some trainings and things that nobody's really ever seen. This will be a show where you'll kind of get your first glance at a couple of things from some of the larger vendors. The trade show floor is going to be unlike any you've ever seen. I mean, it's not, I won't lie and say it's SEMA, but it is going to be different. It's going to be quite big and some large booths. We'll have our own podcast row. All those types of things. At the poker night, are we doing the money booth still, Jess?
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to put you in the money booth with all the money flying around. You can get in there and try to get some cash. So it's a lot of fun. Poor Jess, she's the one that takes the brunt of this. I always joke that I've got to stop coming up with ideas because it just creates more work for Jessee. but I'm always, we could do this. And Jesse's like, yeah, but I feel sorry for her at the same time. She's like,
I love it because I am definitely the busy bee, like behind the scenes, but not the best with ideas. So he keeps cranking out the ideas. I can do my best to bring them to life.
It's always nice to have an innovator and then an executor, and that's the partnership that I see y'all having. Jessee, you mentioned earlier the barbecue and brews event. So being from Texas, I feel like this is an opportunity for me to talk about where the real good barbecue comes from. But because I'm outnumbered,
hey, you're not preaching to me. I believe you. I'm with you.
Okay. I was saying, because I'm outnumbered, I don't know if I want to go there. But I'll say this: I think what y'all are describing, to me, if I'm listening, I'm like, yeah. I mean, how could I not want to come to an event like this? And I'll echo exactly what you just shared, Ryan. You guys do a fantastic job of making people feel heard and understood and I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to be a part of this environment. And the cool thing is that while there are some world-class trainers here, I mean, the best trainers in our industry, the most amazing part about these conferences, these expos, these events is that the real value, believe it or not, is actually found after the trainings. It's in the lobby, it's at the bar, it's at the barbecue place. Like the relationships that you form at events like this are lifelong. And so I just want to comment on that, but I do want to go back and ask you. So this is a leadership podcast, and I think we can always find some leadership principles tied into discussion. And you talked about how the original venue for the kickoff party was somewhere else, and then you had to pivot. I'll ask you, what kind of advice can you give to someone who is planning one thing, expecting and anticipating one thing, and all of a sudden plans change and they have to pivot, but ultimately what happens is it typically works out. What advice can you give in relation to how you guys were able to pivot through this?
For me, I'm not a person that I'm not a person that gets discouraged or anything like that. I mean, yeah, it's frustrating, whatever, you can go through the little emotional checklist of what runs through your mind. At the same time, every moment you spent moping or being upset or frustrated by that is a moment you're not planning the next step. And that's just what has to happen. You have to, because I can assure you, it's not going to change. It's happened. and you can't just sit around saying, oh, the sky's falling. Oh my God. You just immediately have to move. And I mean, Jessee and I are just, let's start figuring stuff out. What can we do? And then, I mean, we had some crazy ideas. Some stuff we just couldn't do because we didn't have the space. I mean, we were going to have like 50-foot rock climbing walls and like all kinds of craziness, and some stuff we couldn't get in because they wouldn't fit in the facility. So we're actually looking to remedy that next year, but that's another topic. but no, for me, it's look, you have to accept what's at. Like I always tell people, nobody wants to be told bad news, but if you don't tell them, they don't know what to do next. So, get it out. Let's address what's happened. Hit the elephant in the room. This is where we are. There's no point going backwards because that ship has sailed. Let's just move forward. And for me, I think Jess, one thing I like about her too, no ideas off the table. We'll try anything. We'll throw anything out there. And, out of the 30, we'll pick out 9 that work.
Yeah. When they called us and let us know at like 3 p.m. on a Friday. So it didn't leave a whole lot of time to get a bunch of stuff pulled together since it was the weekend. But just like he said, they let us know. And for a brief second, it's like, well, this really stinks. But then by Monday morning at 9 a.m., we had compiled an entire list of these are the potential options.
Yeah. I will say I did have a couple extra drinks that weekend though, just to, as you sit out in the pool, you're like, what do we are? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Hey man, we've all been there. I mean, there are things that we just expect and anticipate, and all of a sudden it doesn't go as planned. And so we have to, to me, it's like, it's okay to get below the line for a moment, have those feelings, have those emotions, but we know that emotional maturity is having feelings, but not letting our feelings have us. Let it out, and then you just say, you know what, let's get right back up. I love what you shared, Ryan. The more you think about what should have happened or what could have happened, and you're moping around, all you're doing is wasting time on the action you can take to move forward. For
us too, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, it gave us an opportunity. When you go rent a venue, and it was an amazing venue, don't get me wrong, it's an awesome thing. You are going into somebody else's creativity. This gave us an opportunity to be creative. And who doesn't like that? Who doesn't want to get out and just start like, let's try this and let's do that. That would be crazy. I mean, who doesn't like that? I mean, you're kind of going in when you lease a facility, you're going into what somebody else created. And this kind of just gave us that opportunity to say, hey, let's build our own thing. So it was a lot of fun, really. And it wasn't simple, but anything worth doing isn't. So,
Ryan, you keep saying a word that it's really timely, because I'm going to give you a little teaser into what the listening audience can expect on Friday morning. And it comes from a quote from Steve Jobs when he says that the people who are crazy enough who can think they can change the world are the ones who actually do. Yeah. And sometimes it takes a little bit of crazy amidst the courage to make things happen. And so, again, that's just a little teaser on what to expect Friday morning. But what you got, Ryan?
No, I mean, it's true. Look, I've always been one of those people, in the old sayings and I think, people look at things and they say, why? And others say, why not? I mean, I think you have to be that way. I think there's a couple things you need in life to understand, to try to be somewhat successful. And I think one of the most important things you need to know is most of the issues, challenges, and problems you face, you created yourself. That's usually the way it is. The other thing is, nobody is going to wave a wand and everything's going to get better. Moving to another town doesn't make it better. You're going to have the issues that are there until you really take the time, look in introspectively and fix them. And if you're willing to do that, you can start to move, and then just realize, know what you don't know. I mean, hire people smarter than you. Hire people that have that same alignment that you have, that want to keep moving forward and keep building something. And it's one thing I love about Jessee is I don't ever have to worry. I mean, I know what Jessee wants to do. I know what she sees out there, and it's directly in line with what I see. And so it makes our life easier. And so we challenge each other. I mean, she keeps me focused a lot of where I need to go. It's good for us. I mean, like I said, she loves to kind of get in the trenches and do, what I consider tedious stuff at times that I would just run off and throw myself off the house. But Jessee loves that stuff. And she's like, oh, I like that. I'm like, oh man, I don't like that. But together we kind of make it work, and it's good. But I just think that you can be successful at anything you want in life, but 99% of the time, the biggest roadblock's yourself.
Preach, man. That's accountability, and something you and I have talked offline before, Ryan. This concept of you get out of something what you put into it, and ultimately that's an unsolicited message I would give to anyone coming to the ASTA Expo this year is you're going to get a lot out of it 100%. If you're willing to put in the work, willing to hold yourself accountable. You're going to get out what you put into it. Jessee, let's shift to you. I want to ask you to share with the listening audience. Let's say there's someone listening to this podcast right now. They're not currently signed up to attend the expo, but you're delivering the last sales pitch of the month of September to get them here, putting you on the spot. But what would you say to the listening audience to get them out to the ASTA Expo?
I would say that's a good question. I would say this will be my 4th or 5th ASTA Expo, and I have seen the lives it has changed. Like my first year of the expo, I didn't really grasp. I don't think, I had just gotten hired a few months before my first expo. So I didn't really grasp at that time yet the kind of impact that this show could have on people's businesses and lives in general. Because people often will bring their families too. I have seen this show, and not just this show, the organization too, but the show specifically, I've seen it change people's lives. I've seen them take this training and realize, wow, training is what I'm missing. Not even the ASTA Expo is what I'm missing, but like the ASTA Expo is what opened their eyes to so many different things that their life is missing. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be it. I would tell them, in my experience, in my 5th expo, I've seen the change it can have on your life if you're willing to invest the $480 it costs to get to the show. It changes businesses, it changes families, it gives you friends and just even acquaintances, people you can pick up the phone and call and, run this by them. It's so life-changing in so many different ways.
100%. I promise you, regardless of where you are in your journey in this industry, you will meet somebody that has been where you are right now at some point.
Yeah.
And then you will see where they went and what they've done, and they will share with you how they got there.
So good.
100%.
Love that. Well, before we dismiss for the episode, any parting words of wisdom, anything else either of you like to share?
Jessee, words of wisdom. What do you got?
I know you got a lot of them. I've heard them before.
What do you got, Jess?
Well, we hope to see you at the expo. Certainly. We hope to see all of you there. And this is our first year this is not wisdom, but this is our first year at the Raleigh Convention Center. We've outgrown all the other spaces in the Triangle. So come see what we have to offer this year. And just let it speak for itself. You'll never not come again.
Yeah, I would simply say, look, it's easy for us to sit up here and talk about this, and you'll see people talk about things online and social media and this and that. I just challenge you to come see for yourself. There's a reason why this show has continued to grow and continue to get better. And it sure ain't because of my brain up here. I can assure you of that. It's because of the people that are here and how they interact with one another and the training that's provided. And that's it. That's really it. You know, we would love to sit here and tell you that this show is going to be great because of us. The show is great because of the people that attend it. That's the real deal.
Well, look, on a personal note, I am going to say that the show is great because of you guys. I appreciate both of you. And I'm excited because I've been raving about y'all for a year to my wife. She's joining me this year at the expo. And I always tell people, if you like me, you're going to love my wife. So I'm excited for her to
I've
see
got a
what
lot of
Jessee out.
questions for her. I can already tell you
Hey,
that.
trust me.
There's many questions.
Yeah.
Many.
Hey, she is proof that there is a God. The fact that she's with me, I don't know. But hey, I'll say this.
Many questions. I'll probably just walk up and be like, why?
Yeah. I would like to know. If you find out, let me know.
I'll let you know. If I can crack the shell, I'll let you know. I'll be like, I don't know.
Well, hey, thank you both for being here. Looking forward to seeing you all here in a couple weeks. And thank you for tuning in to yet again another episode of the Limitless Leadership Podcast. As you know, every episode, we look to transform our leadership skills by tapping into unrecognized potential to achieve limitless results. So thanks again, everyone. Don't forget to smile today. Tell your loved ones how much they mean to you. I'm Josh Parnell, reminding you to keep leading well.